Hello and welcome to this week's Rotherham Advertiser Sports Chat podcast. Joining me around the table is Miller's correspondent Dave Beddoes.
Good day.
And news editor Michael Upton.
Hello.
Gentlemen, another famous victory at Hillsborough for Rotherham United. Matt Derbyshire etches his name along the likes of Richie Barker and Darren Garner to be one of the Miller's players to score the winner at Sheffield Wednesday's ground. A 1-0 victory for Neil Warnock's men makes it 2 successive wins, Dave, and the dream's on, isn't it? Survival is on.
It is. Can we play at Hillsborough every week? Maybe not. No defeat there since 81. What is it now? 5 wins out of the last 6. I mean, there's just something about Rotherham and Hillsborough, isn't there? And credit here to Neil Warnock and Kevin Blackwell for setting Rotherham up so well. It was a triumph really for organisation over Wednesday's extra quality. Every last man knew the job from back to front and executed the game plan so well.
It was such a Neil Warnock in quotation marks, Michael, performance, wasn't it? He got the team's nose in front and then sat back and defended for their lives. Blocks, saves, tackles, everything that you'd expect from a Neil Warnock side.
Absolutely, but if you can't get your team up for a local derby against a side they've not lost to at their patch for 35 years, then you shouldn't be in the job. Great to come away with a win after just 35% possession, but they had a fair crack. Stats show that Rotherham had 9 shots to Wednesday's 13, so there were a few forays up the pitch, and some might say that if Danny Ward had took that chance away, could have been 2.5 time and might have been even more comfortable.
Dave, special mention has to go for certain Rotherham players on the day. Spine of the team was absolutely fantastic. From Lee Camp, Greg Halford playing that holding defensive midfield. There were a few raised eyebrows when he lined up there. Up to Danny Ward playing up front on his own, who at times was... the Wednesday defence couldn't handle it. He was running the channels, holding the ball up, winning free kicks. How much credit does Neil Warnock deserve for coming in, getting this group of players by the scruff of the neck and getting them to perform?
Well, he deserves great credit, doesn't he? And he's got, like you say, he's got to settle the back 4, anti-back 5, Lee Camp. I mean, Camp's handling was exceptional and his positioning was spot on. He didn't have to make too many stunning saves, did he? But he got all his back 4 spot on. Alford is the sort of player you need away from home. He didn't give the ball away. He kept it. He's a big, physical presence in there, just in front of that back 4. And they had the shield there. And Wednesday's supply line was sort of choked. And I thought Warnock, he masterminded that win, didn't he?
He did, didn't he? And you could tell after the game, Michael, he was grinning from ear to ear. It meant a lot to him, didn't it?
Absolutely. I think it will always mean something to him beating Wednesday. You're also going to get something a bit different with Neil Warnock as well. It's not just grit and determination, and he seems to have got the best out of Matt Derbyshire the last couple of games. Who'd have thought a late-breaking midfielder would be made of Matt Derbyshire? I've been heavily critical of him over the last 18 months, but he's scored a couple of important goals at important times. We've been here before with him. He's had goals in clots. And then dried up a bit. Maybe Neil Warnock's the man to get the best out of him. He gets the best out of his players, but every now and then he'll do something a bit tactical and he'll just come off for him.
Dave, obviously it's another 3 points. You don't get any more for beating a local rival, unfortunately. But in terms of confidence and the psychology of beating a team pushing for promotion on their own pitch, not lost there since August, 17 games in all, I believe. How much of a confidence boost can that be going into the home straight of the season?
It's huge, isn't it? I mean, and that's back-to-back wins. I think that's only about the second time it's happened since we went back to the Championship, which is huge. I mean, the irony is, on the day we won, MK Dons won 2-0 and actually improved their goals difference over it, so the position ain't that much better, but it's all about momentum at this stage, isn't it, and keeping in touch with them. Bolton lost. I mean, they're looking at the equation now, aren't they? Charlton are slanging in there, but for Rotherham, if you want a good result to start a very, very tough month, that was it.
Michael, Dave's exactly right, isn't he? It's a tough month, his March, on paper for Rotherham United, but they've started it off in the right way, haven't they?
Absolutely. I mean, we've been here before, haven't we? Rotherham against the better sides seem to pull out the stops. Bottom half seems to be a bit of a problem. Top half, teams playing for promotion, maybe feeling a bit under pressure from their own fans. There's always a chance there. I think the most encouraging thing for me is that the stats show Rotherham conceded 5 goals in 5 games on Neil Warnock. 2 of them penalties, both of them a bit debatable. So just 3 from 5 games from open play. I think that's very good. And going to tough games against the likes of Middlesbrough and Derby, having that kind of defensive stability is encouragement for the fans, encouragement for the attacking players, play with a bit more freedom, and who knows, maybe get some more results.
That's right, and Dave. There's a bit of a base now, it seems, to build on, and that was probably more evident against Sheffield Wednesday than anything else, because, in all honesty, they never really looked like conceding.
Things to remember, Rotherham aren't going to outskill teams, they're not going to overrun teams. All this guy can do is set them out, make sure they all know the jobs, be tight, compact, and they have been more compact since they come in, and take it from there, make sure they're in games after 70 minutes, they're all cliches, but it's true in Rotherham's position, and just slowly edge the way back. And they are giving themselves a chance, and there's 11 left, all to play for.
One thing I would add is that Joe was started off by saying the spine looks good, and we were saying just a month ago they didn't have a spine, they're all injured. Once again, Lee Frecklington involved in the winner is a very important player for them. If we can get a good defensive midfield stint out of Greg Holford, that's useful, and the two centre halves will provide a very good platform. That spine that they've lacked all season does seem to be in place now.
Yeah, actually talking to Holford after the game, I spoke to him and he was saying that when he was a kid he played central midfield a lot, because there's a lot of competition going through football to play in that position. He sort of drifted into other areas, and he looked comfortable there, didn't he?
Just to raise one of the big talking points of the game, the disallowed goal for Sheffield Wednesday when it was 1-0 to Rotherham. Aidan McGeady skips inside, gets into box as a right-footed shot, which flicks off Michael Turner's boot on the way of going into goal. First glance, it must say, I tweeted out as well, it looked well offside, but replay show it could be in line, so it could just show that Rotherham maybe getting the rub of the green where they haven't got it before, Dave.
Well, that's it. You look at Joel Neal's chance at Burnley, the penalty they should have had at Reading. They're having a little run at look. Why not? To all intents and purposes, it looked offside live, didn't it? But we can all speak, after the event, and hard luck Wednesday.
Michael, the linesman made the right decision, didn't he? Well, he did the right thing at the time. He didn't run back to halfway to indicate the goal. He didn't put his flag up for offside. He stayed where he was, got the referee's attention, asked him if Michael Turner had touched it. The referee confirmed and therefore gave it offside.
Well, I have to say, Everton fans would be amazed that Aidan McGeady showed such fleet-footedness. That's probably the most energetic he's looked in the last 2 years. So he was always going to be involved in something up for the game. It's a tricky one, really. In terms of offside, the emphasis has always been on favouring the attacking team, giving the benefit of the doubt. So it's a bit of a strange one that the defensive team got the benefit of the doubt this time. I can only imagine that perhaps he was slightly unsighted.
Well, it could have been by the Rotherham player.
By the Rotherham player, and in which case maybe you consult with the referee, see if there's a better view. It was quite clear that Turner had touched it. I don't think he meant it. It looked like a great flick on the first instance. That's another thing. It looked like he managed to flick it in. He just hit and went in. But as Dave says, a little bit of luck. They deserved a bit of luck. I think they have been lucky in the last few games. That's what's needed to get you over the line in a crucial, very tight local derby. They can certainly take it every time.
Well, Tuesday night they welcome Middlesbrough to the New York Stadium. It doesn't get any easier, does it? It's relentless in this league, and Neil Warnock is meant to dust themselves down, pick themselves up after a gruelling South Yorkshire derby, and once again go and same again, Dave.
Well, exactly, yeah, more of the same, please, and it may well be needed. Middlesbrough, they're quite a dour side. Often plays with two sitters in midfield. They're careful, but tough enough to crack. I think it's all set up to be a low scoring. You watch it be high scoring now. To be a tight affair. So I think it's one that's going to be on a knife edge. I'll take a draw now.
Michael, do you envisage too many changes? The likes of Jerome Thomas and Leon Best were sat on the bench against Sheffield Wednesday. Does Neil Warnock even shuffle the pack, or does he stick with the players that did so well on Saturday?
Personally, I think he should stick with the winning side. We've talked already about the spine that's there, solidity that's there. You're going to need solidity against Middlesbrough because, they don't score many, but they've also got quality there. I think the best we can hope for is it's improvement on last season. I don't even remember, we got absolutely schooled by Lee Tomlin last time around, and Middlesbrough out sight by half time. Certainly remember that game painfully. So I think stay in the game for the first half and then maybe nick something. It's a weird way to talk about when you're at home, but it's served them reasonably well in the last couple of games. And you say Middlesbrough are downside, they're also beatable. We've seen in the last few weeks that they don't always get their own way. I think coming off the back of 2 wins, confidence can be high. One thing I would say is if Rotherham don't win, it's not the end of the world, because you go into the last three games. If you'd been offered 7 points, you'd have taken it.
Yeah. So staying in touch.
Absolutely. I think the point against Middlesbrough would be a good result, and I think they're capable of getting it.
And of course, one eye on what MK Doings will be doing at Charlton, MK Dons. So,
MK Doings is
Right, gentlemen, quickly then, let's have your predictions for tomorrow night's game. All that said, Dower Middlesbrough coming to New York Stadium. It's an easy win, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah, more of the same for the Millers. A nice 0-0 draw, we'll build on that.
Michael?
I think it's going to be 1-1. I think it's Danny Ward's turn to score. He's take it in turns with his strike partner.
Lovely. If you want to get your predictions for tomorrow night's game through to us, you can tweet them at Rodtise Sport as well as any comments of anything else that we've spoke about today on the Sports Chat podcast. Make sure you pick up your Rotherham Advertiser on Friday for all the analysis from the Hillsborough derby and tomorrow night's game at Middlesbrough, as well as looking forward to Saturday's match at home to Derby. Thanks for that, Dave. Gentlemen, I'll thank you for your time. I'll thank you very much for listening at home. Have a great week.